Hmm. Oh, there we're going. Welcome to the Talk at 10. This is Dr. Miller and Nurse Jessica, and we're going to talk about over the counter drugs today because these are some of the most common things that we see and that we actually use, or we used to use. We don't use it anymore after learning what we know now. Um, I haven't used over the counters in probably, oh man, I can't remember the last time I did an over the counter.
You never use them. I've never in the last 4 or 5 years.
Yeah. So I don't use them. Um, Jessica used them for a little while, and then we got her onto some alternatives. So we're going to take a few minutes here to say, if you want to learn how to layer your health, right now is the time to change it, and we'll give you those things at the end. But at first, we're going to talk about over the counter drugs and some of the most common over the counter drugs. So the first one that we want to talk about is Tylenol. What's the generic name for Tylenol, hon?
Acetaminophen.
So acetaminophen. And what this does is acetaminophen actually decreases what is known in us as glutathione. And glutathione is our detox component in our body. So this goes into our liver. It helps us with methylation. It helps us get everything out. And as we get these things out of our systems, and we're talking about glyphosate, we're talking about lead, we're talking about mercury, we're talking about carbon monoxide, we are talking about what other toxicants can you think about? Arsenic, stuff that's in the water. Your liver has to use that, has to go in and detoxify all of these things out. And we have to remember that our liver is first and foremost. What is the liver for first and foremost? Everybody thinks detoxification, but what is it for most?
It filters your blood, and it recycles it.
So blood filter, recycle, and also
Liver enzymes and digestion,
energy production.
fat.
And when you have to use it as a detoxifier, you're slowing the liver down. Good morning, Kathy. And
Morning,
as you
Kathy.
slow the liver down, then you start to bog the whole body down. And it also attacks the B12, and B12 is a huge energy metabolizer. Actually, if you go through, it also hits the coenzyme B12, and we'll be talking about ibuprofen or Advil here in just a second. But look at all of these things that acetaminophen actually depletes. It depletes our B12, it depletes our folate, which is also another component of detoxifying. So you're hitting your detoxification pathway two ways. You're depleting glutathione, and you're taking out the things that you need to make the glutathione. It decreases vitamin C, which is, or depletes vitamin C, which is very important for the body for all kinds of immune functions. And what else do I want to say? Immune functions and health and longevity. And vitamin C is used as a cofactor in a lot of processes to help the body just go prepare and do. And then some of the side effects of using Tylenol: ringing in the ears, skin rashes. Uh, we had diarrhea, constipation. Long term use, it can actually cause headaches, which is what we take it for primarily. Anything else you can think of?
No, it's usually one of the from over the counter. It's kind of a tie between Tylenol and Benadryl, what leads you into the hospital for an overdose.
And so when you think about over the counters, I'm not saying never use them. I don't ever use them, but I lead a different lifestyle. But if you need that punch, if you need that ability to knock a headache out to perform, using it short term, not going to hurt you too bad. It's that chronic use. It's using it for a week. It's using it for more than a week. Whatever the case may be, if you're using that stuff daily, you're causing a problem in the body. So now we're going to jump back over to this and we're going to go to page 2 and we're going to go to antacids. And what do you think of when you talk about antacids? What do you see as let's switch this back over to us. What do you see? What are the antacids that are over the counter? Yes.
Pepto-Bismol, Alka-Seltzer,
Omeprazole.
Zantac, Omeprazole.
What do they get over the counter wise? What are the ones over the counter? She's my go-to
It's
because I don't.
Protonics, but I'm not sure if that's what they call it over the counter. But Omeprazole.
Can't you get Zantac over the counter?
Zantac is ranitidine, I believe.
So I think you can get that one over the counter.
You can get that. You can get Pepsid, Zantac. You can get Omeprazole, Pepto-Bismol.
And so these things, these were never meant to be long term. We were just doing some research in the back. Long term use of antacids never meant to be used long term. When we were in the back looking at it, long term use led to bone breakage, they kind of led into each other. What were they? Bone breakage,
constipation, diarrhea, heartburn,
kidney stones. Here we're looking at the bones being
decreased energy.
It took out B12, calcium. Anemia. And so we see these things. Oh yeah, depletes magnesium. This is the coenzyme for B12. It decreases B12.
So that's energy.
Yep. Calcium, folic acid, iron, zinc, beta carotene, chromium. Look at how many things just taking antacid depletes in your body.
Decrease your immune system.
Yep. It'll lead to bacterial overgrowth. If I jump over here, long-term side effects of antacids. Go.
And usually when you go into a hospital, that's just a part of their protocol, so you get it as soon as you walk in the door.
Esophageal cancer, weakened bone density. Oh, goodness. We're looking at all these different esophageal ulcers. I mean, these things, and that's what they give it so that it stops. So it's unbelievable that we just think these things. If you talk to the drug reps, especially when they first started talking about these things, you were not supposed to use H2 inhibitors and stuff like that because of how powerful they were. They were just supposed to be used very short term, allowing the body to recuperate. And when we say short term, like 24 to 48 hours. And there you're supposed to allow the body to come back. So antacids are some of the most, this is the constipation, the kidney stones, the diarrhea. I mean, these are the things that people come into us about, and they're taking these things. And these are just not acceptable side effects. And now that they're off script and you can get them over the counter, it's worse because we pop them like Pez. And we think that it's correcting a problem, and it's not. It's actually masking the problem, allowing it to smolder. We're in the Midwest. And since we're in the Midwest, one of the things that I can make the analogy to is like putting up wet hay in the barn. When you put up wet hay in the barn and you get into the dog days of summer and it gets really hot, that smolders and then it'll catch fire and then the barn catches fire. Well, it's the same thing with taking antacids and stuff like that. It's going to smolder and it's going to allow the underlying problem to get worse and worse and worse. So let's go to the next one with all this joyous news. Just hang with us because we will give you some alternatives. Advil or Ibupro, is it FEN or
ibuprofen.
is it PHEN?
I think it's FEN.
I think it's FEN also. Now remember, I haven't taken any of these things for years.
Yeah, ibuprofen used to be my best friend. I'd take it by the thousands in a week.
And now you have gut issues, and we're trying to we're trying to rehab all of that stuff. So it causes nausea, vomiting, dizziness, constipation, diarrhea. This I like the burning stomach. Basically it just upsets the GI. This is very interesting right here. What I am showing you are the red blood cells. Ibuprofen blocks your ability to make red blood cells or new red blood cells. So you are going to have a problem with creating new red blood cells. And then if you can't do red blood cells, you're not going to transport oxygen. If you can't transport oxygen, you're going to have cell and tissue death.
You can be anemic. You're going to be lethargic, tired.
Leaky gut syndrome, once again. You're also going to get
short of air.
Yeah, it's
dizzy.
And this is funny. It also causes heartburn. So if you're taking ibuprofen long term and you give yourself heartburn, the next thing that they're going to give you is, and I should have done this actually this way, then you're going to get an antacid because they want to treat the symptoms. They meaning medically, we want to treat the symptoms. And so then we're going to compound the diarrhea and constipation. And then we're going to start to deplete all these things. And so hence your energy tanks, goes way down. So you see how these things compound things together? I put in here antihistamines because we are in the Midwest and antihistamines I have seasonal allergies. Give me the Zyrtec. Give me the Benadryl. What's that? Citrus?
Zyrtec.
What's the generic name of that? Citrulline or something like that?
It's a big long word. It starts with a C.
Oh, well, whatever it is. Antihistamines cause dry eyes. Then you have a problem with blurry vision as well. Hypotension, low blood pressure. And then it causes a thickening of the mucous membranes in the airways and throat. And once again, heartburn. So if you have all of these things going on and you have heartburn, then we go right back to we're going to give you, we're going to give you the antacids, which cause these things. And you can see how that
vicious circle.
Yeah, how it becomes a positive feedback loop. So the bright side is you can start to compound things that you do. And so she's got green tea and black tea mix with a little bit of honey and golden fusion in here. And this is something that you can take every day.
Well, let me just tell him one thing. I don't like this. He likes this. I don't like this. But with a blend of tea with some good honey in that golden fusion, it's kind of like a mock apple cider. So it's actually pretty good.
I haven't tasted it.
It's hot.
And it's hot. I don't drink hot things. But yeah, I can see what you're talking about. Now I'm not going to taste
I know
anything.
that's why it's sitting there.
Just burnt my tongue. But I really want to sit here and talk about Golden Fusion is a turmeric blend. And this is like just adding spice to a drink or to something that you're taking. And you can do this every day and it doesn't hurt you. The benefits are multimodal for this. And so this is a whole food supplement that you can do every day that it decreases your inflammation and it decreases tumor necrosis factor. It helps
Pain,
interleukin beta, all kinds of things.
and it's especially really good for hormones.
And if you're going to actually take something like Golden Fusion, your chances of having those other things, along with starting to pay attention to your diet and lifestyle, that's very important. Then your chances of having headaches and doing and having side effects or having problems go down. That's why it's important. And you got to think, is that Taco Bell worth it? Or the flip side of that for me is I sit there and once in a while I'll have Taco Bell, but I know at that point in time it's not going to give me acid reflux. It's not going to do these things. And I can just enjoy it for what it is, a treat. And that's what it is. Recreational food is that's just what it is, recreational food. It's not real food. But if you're getting headaches, if you have pain, if you have all of these things, then you can start to get into the heavier hitters, the inflavonoid intensive care and the quercetin. Now, because she's been in the medical field, she has a lot more experience with taking ibuprofen, Advil, Tylenol, and that stuff. And now we're trying to go through the process of healing up her gut. And this is what she uses
I
now.
love that. It's really good.
So you use this one and you just started this one.
Quercetin.
What now? Why'd you start that one? Hormone balance?
Hmm. We tried to. So for hormones, we did some research, and there was 3 or 4 big things that you needed, and they were all in the Golden Fusion quercetin.
Okay. Well, Golden Fusion has them all. The quercetin is more of just the quercetin, but it's isolated and it's in pill form. So she is compounding her benefits. Um, and then next in line, so far, other than if you're taking stupid high doses of omega 3s a day, unless you're taking stupid high doses of omega 3s a day, there is nothing that I have seen that has negative side effects with dosing yourself with EPDHA because it goes down the pathway that is anti inflammatory. It's an omega 3 pathway and it gives you eicosanoids that are anti inflammatory. And you only have to do about 2 teaspoons of this a day.
Because fish oils are a blood thinner
Yep.
by property. So if you're taking other blood thinners, you might want to make sure that it's okay.
Yeah. Talk to a doc. And flavonoid intensive care. So you can see curcumin, xanthohuman, boswellia, ginger. This was the curcumin collagen. It's got cinnamon, ginger, pumpkin seeds, turmeric. Next, we'll go over the phytomulti. Just because if you've been taking these other things, you will be mineral and nutrient deficient. Phytomulti, 2 tabs. And this is a baseline. This is what I put my patients when they start here on.
Take this one with food.
Yes, please do. If you don't, you will get.
It will make some. Well, I'm not saying everybody will get
Makes
nauseous,
me ill.
but it does cause nausea if you try to take it on empty stomach.
And then if you're having pain, once again, quercetin. And body aches and pains, pineapple has bromelain in it. So it's just starting to learn these things that you can take and you can do for
Pineapple
it.
is good for inflammation, but that bromelain is also good for coughing. So if you or your children are have a cold or you're coughing, you want to eat the core of the pineapple.
Yeah, good fiber too. So if you are interested in any of these things, Metagenics is a physician's only brand, so you can trust it. That's the whole thing about these things. If you go on and you read, if you get vitamins, just do me one favor, look for titanium dioxide. Dioxide. That's what they use to powder coat the pills. It's white. When they do that, this tells you that that is a crappy vitamin. Don't take it. But we will end on this. I will put that up there. If you like those things and you want to try them out, you can go to metagenics.com, use my practitioner code T Miller. That will allow you to order from Metagenics. And so then you can get any of those products or all of them. And once again, my staple that I put people on just to start out with.
And these are things that we as a family use every day.
Yes, we do. Those are the three things that I put everybody on. If you need extra help with a headache, you go to the Inflavonoid Intensive Care
Headaches, body aches,
and the Quercetin 500.
joint pain.
Yep. We just lost ZZ Top bassist, Dusty Hill, and he was working on bursitis and he was with a physical therapist. And I can almost guarantee that if he was in the medical model, he was probably taking ibuprofen. He was probably taking acetaminophen. Actually, he was probably taking Mobic. I don't know this. I am assuming off of 25 years of experience of seeing patients come in with these things, and he died suddenly. So he probably died of a heart attack, an embolism, an aneurysm, or a stroke. And if you look at him, great guy, but he looks like he enjoyed food a lot and probably recreational things. And it took him too soon. So, with that, we went a little long in the tooth today, but those are your staples. And those are things that you can take and know that they're not going to hurt you. So,
Nope. Take your good stuff and get outside and start moving.
yep. Have a great day, and we will see you next time.